Welcome to Our Best Self. Here we share stories and experiences to grow healthy habits and practices that will lead to both your happiness and success, personally and professionally. Come with us to explore mental strength, happiness, health, business success, and the gamut at large. I had an amazing discussion with some folks this weekend, and we were focused on what matters and how does that differ between people and how powerful that is to motivate to accomplish pretty amazing things. And I wanted to boil that into two specific topics and share that. And the first is impact, and the second is purpose, right? And so when we think about these two together, they come together. They're a natural pair because when we think about purpose, this is anything that we are doing that matters, right? It is the purpose of, right? So an example would be, I want to provide for my family. That's an amazing purpose. Or if you're a mother, you want to transfer the ideas and principles and values to your children. But if you're in business, maybe the purpose is, if you're in cybersecurity, to create the most secure product on the planet. Maybe it's the best quality. Maybe they have to have the most fun as a team. The purpose can be so many things, but it comes down to the activities and mission on hand. And as a leader, as a parent, as a team participant, you need to make sure we are bringing that forward. For me, one of my main purposes over the last year has been helping build a hospital in Rwanda. And through the journey, have really felt different tugs and pulls of time and attention. And there was, easy and bad days. And that was super insightful for me to see that it was the power of the purpose that was pushing me forward. And it exposed something very awesome that I think is everyone can benefit from, in that when you have a purpose, it is not for material achievement, right? It is the journey of the pursuit towards the vision for the possible future. And let's unpack that a little bit. So the journey with the purpose on our shoulders, meaning that what are we doing day in and day out for that purpose, right? To provide for our families, to be the best dishwasher, to be the best real estate agent, to be the best writer. Our purpose is to share ideas, provide for our family, create a healthy environment where people can enjoy maybe the food if you're the dishwasher in the situation. But it is the journey itself towards the pursuit. And then, of course, with a possible future. And when I say possible future, is that when you're chasing a purpose, right, you want to create the best restaurant in New York, or you want to open an online store to sell something that you're amazingly capable of creating. It is not a specific achievement, right? Because when we're thinking about purpose, we're thinking about this view and this vision of where we're going. And therefore, it allows us to be flexible. It allows us to enjoy as we're going through and to invest. And wherever we achieve, that is where we will have seen that success. And for me, a part of building the hospital over the last year in Rwanda, one would say, oh, well, you built a hospital, so you're done. And I was like, no, we're not done. And I've been a strong advocate of this because we want to build health in Rwanda. So that means, yes, we need a facility. We need to build a hospital where there isn't one within 20 miles. But now I want to go there and I want to knowledge transfer, movement, biomechanics, training, different things that I have learned over the last 10 years of being very deep in athlete training and convey that to them. And then I want to help them run that when I'm gone. So the idea is to create these processes and these systems that become their own spinning flywheel, meaning that, yes, the purpose started with building a hospital, but now we've moved on. Now we have a hospital. Now we've moved on because the purpose began with bring health to Rwanda. Well, now there's something else that requires my action and support in order to do that. But how do you know kind of where we are relative to our purpose in general? And one thing I like to look at here and really focus on is becoming self-aware of what we care about and what is powering us. And a lot of people struggle with this. Like, how do you know what you care about? Like, what are your priorities? And so number one, I have always advocated is vlogging, right? Make a journal, do a video log. You can look at your Instagram photos. There is a lot of record when you look back to see where your passion, where are you focused on, where are you spending your time, what are you talking about? And then if there's something there, peeling that back and using that as a tool to see what you really are passionate about and what your purpose maybe can center around. Because if you feel lost today with your purpose, maybe you're just going through the motions of living, but you want to have a bigger impact. Well, then we need to find what you're passionate about. And we do that not by reading a book. We do that by looking at ourselves and saying, what are we doing? What are we focusing on? Where do we find joy? And maybe it's in sports, maybe it's in certain activities. Maybe you have a natural skill for organizing and building things, or maybe you have a skill for just organizing people, right? If you have those skills, you can apply them to any purpose, any cause, right? And that's what's amazing, is that you have those capabilities. So if you want to look back at the last 3 months, see what you've been focused on. What have you been asking? Like, is there a theme? Are there things that are kind of coming in and out and in and out? Are those really your passions, or are they fads and maybe somebody is kind of influencing you on your choices? Are there passions that are in there that maybe keep getting paused because of, maybe work-life balance? Think about these and start dialing them in. So then, what about the impact? How can we have an impact on those purposes? And I think to achieve the impact, we have to simply think about where can we apply our skills today, right? We all want to, I want to be the guy, or I want to be the girl that does this. But sometimes, and truthfully, ego can be the enemy here, right? To have a big impact, sometimes someone just needs to stay up and lick stamps in order to send out the fundraising envelopes to build the hospital. It's very important to think about, you can have an impact across a purpose, but sometimes you're not the woman in charge. Sometimes you need to be okay with focusing on specific pursuits, supporting the passion, and doing what you can in life, right? So if I'm with my daughter, I can only do so much. But when I don't have my daughter because she's at school or there's a sleepover, you're absolutely right. I'm going to be sitting right here trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So when we think about those, purpose and impact, we got to combine the two. But I want you also to have permission to allow yourself to change. You're allowed to change. Like, you can have a purpose. I want to change the world, or I want to bring health to these people, or I want to make the most amazing product on the iPhone ever. Great, do that. Have a great impact. But if in 2 years your heart changes and the world changes, move on. Follow your gut. Lead with good intention. And then you will find happiness there, and you will have the impact that you desire. So I want to be a little practical here, kind of give you a method that I've seen work very well. So every 3 months, I want you to look at what you've been doing. So literally right now, pause, pull up your journal, pull up Instagram, scroll back 3 months. Now come forward. What is jumping up at you? Are there any passions? Is there a business, a side hustle? Is there any causes? Is there any, you finding yourself in certain places? But if you don't have a journal, you're not on social media like that, pull up your calendar. What have you been doing, right? Have you been spending time with certain people? Are you doing certain retreats? Look at your calendar, see how you're actually living. And then use that to refine and decide, what are my big, audacious goals for the next 3 months? Let's write those down. Now, create a piece of paper at the top, 1 week out, then 2 weeks out, and 4 weeks out. Make those headers, and I want you to write in, boil down what you need to do to hit your big goals over the next 3 months. And I promise you, if you stay true to your time, you will hit those goals. You may not build a hospital in 3 months, but what will happen is that you will move the needle closer on having an impact, and you might make an impact every single day. You might be a counselor donating your time every morning, and it's something you always want to do, and you just give your time, and you'll have an impact at the first call you make. So think about that. Think about the tactical, simple thing we can do with following our purpose, creating the impact. So fill in these categories, draw them out, and then reassess every 3 months. One thing I will suggest is don't be hard on yourself. Too often I look at my activities and I'm like, gosh, I really wish I did that. Or I'm sad that I didn't achieve that goal. But on the other hand, I think, what did I do instead? And if I'm living the way I want to live, then I'm quite happy with those results. So, purpose of this is to help you be your best self by sharing things that I've discovered through amazing conversation and people and simply lessons, and help you. So, we're all about focusing on purpose and impact. And so I wish you all the happiness. And I think if you look at your goals, you're going to find out a lot about yourself that you knew. You just needed to be reminded. You're amazing. I believe in you. And this is your permission to show the world how great and how important you are in being in this world, whether it is up till now or for the next 5, 10, 20, God willing, 50 years. Have a great day.